Int- Introduce yourself. What are you running for? Why should people vote for you?
What's up, everyone? Jonathan, first, thanks for having me on. I'm just a dude that grew up 3 minutes away from City Hall. My grandmother worked on the Sharp James campaign, and one of my closest friends was the grandson of Congressman Donald Payne Sr. So I've been around Newark politics my whole life, and I always knew I wanted to come back and just help the people of Newark. So after studying how local governments operate around the world at Dartmouth College, I came back 10 years ago. And since then, I've built technology to protect women and teens from street attacks and domestic abuse. And during the pandemic, I built software to connect Newark public school students with their mentors during the lockdown. So that's my background. But the three specific reasons I think residents should vote for me for city council on Tuesday is the first one is I think Newark needs modern leadership for the digital age. Many people know the digital age started in the 80s, but it matured in the 2010s. And I think most residents believe that Newark hasn't caught up. So I think between the outdated systems, our outdated website, like there's missed opportunities to just share basic information that residents need. I hear all the time that residents say they miss information about city programs, deadlines, or events because information is not displayed clearly and consistently. So I'm the only one with a technology background of the candidate. So I'm just committed to use technology to help modernize how we communicate and to increase transparency. And I just want to use technology to just rebuild trust between the residents and City Hall. The second reason is I think people should vote for me because I'm calling for an intellectual renaissance here in Newark. I think Newark, like so many Newarkers have been let down by failed promises and our elected officials just offering more than they can deliver. So I think we need, I don't know, like we just need to go big. I think residents in Newark need big ideas. We deserve to be leaders again in a lot of these industries. And when you think of a lot of revolutions throughout history, especially like the intellectual ones, they were led by like younger people. So the scientific revolution, the Enlightenment, the Industrial Revolution, and the digital age were all led by people under 40. And although a third of our population is under the age of 40, there's no real representation for our generation on city council. So I think that's a missed opportunity. So a vote for me is just a vote to give our generation a voice and designing our future. And the last thing I would say is that I'm running an independent and grassroots campaign. So no one asked me to run. And I think with that independence just means that I can be accountable truly to the people. And I think, again, Newark needs leadership that is free from the influences of political parties and outside interests. So I just want to use that platform, my tech platform, to just hold government accountable and give power back to the people, essentially. So those are my three reasons why I think residents should vote for me on Tuesday.
Okay, and what we also want to do is we asked all the candidates, why should they vote for you? But then also, why do we need to vote, right? This is Get Out the Vote Week. So one, thank you for coming on. Very much appreciate it. Because we want to make sure we get a lot of politicians, a lot of people who are who are aspiring politicians, people who are running for office, to come on and to engage in the conversation. We reached out to some other people who are running for Central Ward. We tried to reach out to others just to have them on to do the shout out. But the second part of the question, why vote, especially in this election? Not the Central Ward election, but the governor's race, and voting in general.
See, I heard you ask two other candidates that question, and for me, that's tough for me to answer because just a few years ago, I was someone that was hopeless, just like everyone else. I had went all out for Bernie Sanders, and when I saw what happened to him, I just gave up. So I can't, I don't think I have the words to tell residents why they should vote because so many people are just hopeless and they're tired of voting for the same things over and over and over. But what I do want to say is that You should vote when you feel that you find a candidate that you think you truly believe and you trust. I think you should help them out. I don't know if I want to tell people just vote for the sake of voting, because just a few years ago I was one of them people that gave up in the whole process because I felt like my vote wasn't, or my energy in voting and participating wasn't getting things done. So that's just an honest answer I have for you.
Let
And
me ask you
I
Jamar, Jamar, I'm gonna get you, baby. Okay.
Listen, I
I
understand everybody here are
no, no,
Atlanta Bay
no, no.
fans.
No,
I
no, you're
No, no,
fine. You're
no. We're not
absolutely
talking.
no,
No,
you're
no.
fine.
We're talking about voting stuff, man. We're not coming
Yeah,
after you for that. Like
no,
this
no,
is a
you're
get out
fine.
the vote
No, yeah,
section, right? So
yeah,
yes, like
yeah. So you're absolutely fine. I just wanted to say, I do want to highlight that I'm glad that you went with Bernie Sanders, but he didn't lose. You know why? Because he actually revamped how the Democratic Party looked at things. So while it wasn't the win, he did do some significant things. I was laughing because I was just looking you up real quick. I was like, look, you know, Jamar is a basketball player with your same name. I was like, oh, that's you. And I was looking at the
yep.
picture. But in terms of, since you are a young person with voting, and as we're looking towards the future, how comfortable are you in saying soon that we will all be able to vote from just our smartphones and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure we could do that now, but the issue just becomes how do you prevent it from being hijacked or from people using it maliciously? So I think a lot of that stuff is going to come from the state or probably even the federal government, but I think we can lead some of those conversations or even some of those experiments here in Newark. Like I truly believe we can become innovative again when we are doing things in Newark that other people throughout this world are copying, because I think that's part of our history and that's part of like who we are. We're builders, we're innovators, and I'm just excited to bring that energy back to Newark.
Yes.
and I know that we're getting ready to go into our next segment, but Linda Carter raised an important point when she talks about the power of civics, and by that, in the last section, we talked about it's not just about voting; it's about organizing and joining a civic organization and joining some organization that's going to make some difference. I actually thought that was going to be your answer, right? Like because you are running a grassroots campaign about something you believe in, and you organize around things that you believe in. Like most people, when they organize around issues, and they find other people who organize around those issues, and then voting is organic, right? Like if you're involved, if you are, as Linda Carter was saying, into the civics part of it, then you're going what you're fighting for, you're going to realize that the road's going to need to go someplace, and there's some things you're going to need from that government to react, and and they're going to be opposed not to voting as like just a voting thing, right? Like as an act. And I understand what you're saying. It's like people say vote because your ancestors vote. That never was persuasive to me either, right? But vote because your interests are there, because you're part of an organization, because your politics are your way of life, because you need to make sure that your community is strengthened whenever you vote, right? Like, as in, if Newark voted at 80%, people would mess with Newark less, right? Like, they would be less likely to do certain things to the city, no matter how people voted. If there was high voter turnout, then people would be like, I don't really want to piss that population off because they vote a lot. Let's keep them there, right? Like, so I think that there are a lot of answers, right? That stem from stuff that you're interested in terms of the organizing that you do around specific issues where you find other people and then you run into roadblocks and then you realize government, I need to get people to do things, right? Uh,
Jonathan, I mean, yes, but I also feel like it's a duty for the candidates to be interesting, to be inspiring, to encourage and inspire specifically our youth. Because right now in our city council, and I'm not attacking anyone that's like older, but it's just like our city council is not a true representation of our population. So just to tell people to vote for people that they're not inspired by, I am not comfortable doing that with my audience. That's all I'm saying. because I
Fair.
think it's a duty on our elected officials just to like, like be worth it and be inspiring to our residents. And I think
But
we've been
it,
So when
lacking
you're
that in North. That's all.
but isn't it also
and
our duty as individual residents to like understand the issues that will affect our lives and demand more, right? Like as in, I, part of my thinking on this has changed, right? Because when I look at when I and this we said in the last segment, when I look at when I look at the last election, right, when Trump won, there were a lot of people who sat out because they didn't like Harris's stance on Gaza. They were like, "Wow, that is horrible," and I agree. I feel the same way about that. But you end up having to fight battles on the 14th Amendment, about ICE, about like whether or not the Justice Department is going to like arrest your the government the Justice Department is going to arrest your congresswoman and your mayor, right? Like, and whether they're going to like, so the issues that you're going to have to protest against are a lot more. So to some extent, if you are actually an organizer, and most of the organizers that I know always vote, even though they may not agree with the people they're voting for and everything, they pick the person they most want to fight. And I think for young people, that has to be the message. It's not the message of voting for someone you love because you have interests that may be generationally different. It's pick the person you most want to fight, right? Most rather fight on the issues that you're involved with. And I think if we started thinking about politics like that, I think the transformation would be a lot more
and Jonathan
drastic.
and also and Jamar also think of it that it's not one-sided, it's a participant, like, so you throw the ball and I throw it back, so you're going to be the central ward council person, you have these 10 ideas as a constituent. It's my job to bring the 11th idea to you and say, hey, I don't like, and I'm a former councilwoman, and I'll give you an example. The woman down the street, she was getting older. She didn't like putting her garbage out at 8 o'clock because she went to bed at 8. She wanted to put her garbage out at 7. We write the laws on what time somebody can put their garbage out. So she brought that issue to me that was not even on my radar and said, listen, I go to bed at 8. I need to put my garbage out at 7, and I don't want to see a ticket on my door because I put my garbage out at 7. So she brought the issue to me. So it goes back and forth. And as you campaign, you get elected, you have your idea, and that's what constituents do. They brought in your wheelbarrow and they say, look, I voted you in and I can vote you out. So it is definitely a participant where, the people listen to you, but you listen to the people as well. And you have to keep your mind open like that. So everybody is, as a community, we're just feeding off each other, and we're doing the best for the community collective. It's not a one-sided thing. So just keep that
Oh,
in
can I say
mind.
one more thing? One
Right.
last thing. One
Well,
last thing. One last thing. Really
okay,
fast.
yes.
Right. One
You
last
got
thing.
two
So
things to say. Your song too. You got to let
Well,
us know
just
what you're listening to.
look,
Go
yeah,
in
ahead.
theory,
because
in
we're
theory,
rolling into the next segment.
Yeah.
in theory, I think both of you are right. But right now we are in a city where 92% of registered voters didn't even vote for the mayor or didn't vote at all. So we've
That's
proven that you only need a small group of really passionate people to get things done in Newark. So in theory, you're right. But I think in certain cases in Newark, this is just a very special situation. And again, I study how local
So
governments work, and Newark is a special
so
place when it comes to local politics.
We got to
so
bring Jamar
tell us,
back. Go ahead. Go
music, hip hop, favorite
Hip hop.
individual artist.
Kendrick Lamar all day. I think he speaks from the perspective of the foundational or native Black American, and I just love it.
All right. Well, thank you, man.
And Jamar, I do got to tell you. Go
I know,
ahead. I just want to
Donna,
tell
you're
you,
trying
at
to.
Essex, just listen, John. At Essex County, we generally only vote for the county at 30%. So it's not a North thing. It's a voting thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
Okay.
we're
so
gonna change it.
so
We're gonna
thank you.
chanch it.
Right. We're getting. I know it's a thing that Donna and I always do, and she always tries to keep the guest on, and I'm always trying to get to the next
Stop it.
segment. So
Thanks,
so thank
Jamar.
you,
Yeah,
and
thank
thank
you.
you for coming on. All right,
Yeah,
take
bye-bye.
care.